Are you brand new to Vintage Story? Or are you just curious as to how other people play the game? Well, if any of those are true, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to be showing you what I do on my first day in any playthrough. And quite honestly, I think they're things that everybody should do on their first day in their playthrough, just to get the best start you can possibly get. Now, with any new world comes creating the world. And for this world, we're just going to keep it nice and simple. We're not going to customize anything at all. Just going to be standard, very standard, standard. Very standard, standard. And we'll name this world our super creative name for our world. It's great. Super creative name. Now, we're just going to create the new world. If you want to see anything about customization and stuff of worlds, then let me know in the comments. We'll maybe get a video if people want that enough. So, let's go. And creating the character, we'll stick with this character. This guy, look at that ponytail there with the fro. This guy looks like he knows how to survive. He's got the determination in his eyes. And you come to here, you get a bunch of choices here for the type of character you want. Commoner is just very bare bones. And then you got a bunch of other stuff here that have a lot of buffs and debuffs. Lots of things they can do versus things that they can't do and stuff like that. For this one, we're just going to choose Commoner. And welcome to the world. Day one in this world. The first thing I like to do, the very first thing I like to do is create a knife. We want to create a knife. Now, most stones, ooh, we got some flint here, that's good. Most stones you can make knives and stuff and use for napping and everything. Just my own personal preference, I like going for flint. But you can use granite as well, like we spawned in an area with granite, which is great. Oh, no, there's some flint there. Okay, so knife. We're going to get into napping. So if you have 2 pieces of flint in your inventory, you can just, so it plops it down automatically with flint like this. If you're using rocks, it'll plop the rock down first, and then you just like shift right click onto that rock. And this little GUI will pop up. The only difference with flint is you get the arrowheads here. All the rest of the rocks will just have these options. We're going to go for the knife first. That's the most important first tool to make, in my opinion, is the knife. And then this will pop up. Little tip here, when you're doing this, hold down Alt, because that makes it so you can move your mouse cursor freely. If you're not holding down Alt, then it's going to do this, right? So I just find it's easier to do napping and whatnot when you're doing this, when you're holding Alt. This is also a really good tip for when you're using clay as well. But with this, you don't have to destroy every single voxel. You just have to left click on the ones right beside the outline of the tool you're making, and the rest of them will just go away. And then now you got a knife blade. You're not done. You need sticks, and we just so happen to have branchy leaves right here, which is great. We can break those, get some sticks. And honestly, like if you see a lot of them, or if you see any on your travels when you're wandering about, then just break them. If you see any sticks on the ground, grab them. You're gonna need sticks. You're just gonna need sticks. You're gonna need a lot of sticks. And I'll grab about 8 for now. So to make your actual knife, you're gonna take the blade, put it into your crafting grid here, and put a stick under it, and you got yourself a knife. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make a spear. So I would like to find one more flint, because we only got 1 flint. Napping only works if you have 2 or more of the same item. So there we go, we got that. We're going to make our spear, our first weapon of the game. Spears are great. Probably the top tier beginning weapon, in my opinion. So we got our spear. You can make more of these if you want, but we are kind of limited on inventory space right now. So the spears are pretty cool. You got your standard left click melee attack. It does have a little bit of reach on it, so if you time it right, you can hit most enemies without them hitting you back. You do have a right click ranged attack as well. So if you hold down right click, you see that you get this little box here. It's pulsating. That dictates your accuracy. So right now you're going to want to kind of time it when the box is smallest, and that's about roughly the area where you're going to hit, right? If you move around, it gets much bigger. So you want to be stationary. Crouching doesn't typically do much, but Yeah, and then you just release right-click. Ta-da! Awesome. And it does take a little bit of durability damage. And then as you're going out and about, you're going to want to find more of the rocks you're using, you know. There's more flint there because we're going to make more tools as well. We want more tools. We need more tools. And now we got about 6 flint here because they kind of give you a little bit more. So let's go ahead and make the rest of our tools here that we're going to need. So we're going to need an axe. So we're going to nap ourselves an axe head. And let's make ourselves a shovel head as well for when we find clay. You can dig the clay and other blocks out with your fist. Shovel is just a lot more efficient. And then, of course, get the sticks on them. There we go. Now that we've got our tools, you want to keep an eye out for food. And food can come in all shapes and sizes, you know, all forms. Right now we got some growing carrots. If they're still growing, you're typically not going to get any food from them. You're more likely to get seeds, but the further along the growth stage, the more likely you are to get like maybe 1 or 2 little bits of food out of them. The easiest thing, in my opinion, to find for food are these berry bushes. You can just hold right-click on them, and they'll give you the berries. See, now we got 13 berries. It's great. And then you can also get like mature food here as well. You break those. Like the crops and stuff, these are grains. You got some seeds. Excellent stuff. Might as well grab a bit more because the more food you have, the better. Also, keep an eye on your inventory because right now you only have your hotbar and your offhand, and stuff doesn't store in your crafting grid. And you might be wondering, how are we going to fix this? Well, that's the next thing we're doing. We're going to be looking for these cattails, or papyrus, or papyrus, however you pronounce it, if you're in warmer climates. And you want to get yourself 40 of these. And you can get the roots here as well if you want. And you can plant those roots wherever you decide to base up. And that doesn't have to be on or near water, so you can make yourself a little cattail farm or a papyrus farm. Papyrus, or you can cook the roots for food. You can't eat them raw though. So that's another thing to keep in mind. If you're like strapped for food, you can always use the cattail roots. But I'm going to go ahead and get myself 40 of these. All right, and we got our 40 cattails. Great stuff. Now, to make 1 basket, you're going to need 10. And we want 4 total, which is why we got 40. And they're going to fill up these little slots here. So you can just click and drag, or you can shift click. And that'll create it, and we put it in there. And each basket's going to give us 3 inventory slots. Now, you might be thinking this is not a lot. In this game, that's a lot. It's always great having more inventory. Any amount of inventory helps. And yeah, you can upgrade these later if you want, like hunter backpack. There's like sacks you can make and stuff. Leather backpacks, and then there's sturdy leather backpacks, which are like endgame material, right? Endgame stuff. But this is great for now. And we got more food here, which is phenomenal. Great stuff, great stuff. Next thing I want to do is I want to make a bed. So we're going to need about 24 dry grass, which you can get with a knife here. It's one of the main reasons why we built a knife super early, is to be able to get this grass, right? And the bed's going to allow you to sleep through the night. Keep in mind that it is not a spawn point. You cannot use the bed as a spawn point. The only way to make a new spawn point, aside from the main world spawn point where you initially spawn in the game, is to get what are called temporal gears. And those, at this stage in the game, are very, very, very hard to come by. So, we got 25 here. All right. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. And then we're going to want to make that into 3 hay bales here. And then we do this. Nice straight line. Hay bed. Lovely. Now we can plop that down in an appropriate shelter and sleep our night away, which is great. I see some ruins over there. Oh, excellent. We got lucky. No shot, there's a trader over there too. Okay, so we're getting lucky. So this is farming. This is one of the reasons why you want to be on the lookout for ruins, right? This is a bit of a tangent for this video, but like since it's here, you can find this stuff and it can give you some stuff, right? See, we got a bunch of flax fibers, which are incredibly important, honestly. Not necessarily to your basic survival, but they're important for like progressing some things in the game. And you can get some cattails out of that farming one as well. You can get seeds. You can find ones that give you tools, and you can straight up get like into Bronze Era just from these things. But it's great. It's great. And then you can dig around here as well, because sometimes you'll find like chambers and stuff that have more loot in them, which can be very lucrative, honestly. Hey, look, it's a little bunny. Let's go check this trader out here, because sometimes you can get real lucky, get real good traders, and yeah, it's just great. It's just great. Who are you? You are a building materials trader. Excellent. And then you can just like chat with them a bit. You can ask them their name. Well, and then building materials. Obviously, you get some building materials and stuff. And this is all the stuff he's looking for to sell. Little pro tip with traders. Most of them have a bed in them that you can sleep in. So if you find yourself strapped for like a bed, you know, like you don't have a bed with you, it's getting dark and like things are spawning, and you see a trader, most of them will have a bed. Back on track though, next thing we're gonna want to do is we're gonna want to get some wood, because we need to get some fire going. Fire is important. Now, I typically like to stay to the small trees for now, because obviously your flint axe here, or stone axe or whatever, doesn't have a lot of durability. So we got 3 birch logs from that one. All right, and then we got ourselves an all right amount of starting wood, and we did get ourselves a bit more sticks here as well. If you want, you can like go through the leaves on trees, see if you can find any whatchamacallit, branchy bushes and stuff, branchy leaves. And yeah, you can get some more sticks. And I just noticed we found something incredible here. Another little side note is to be on the lookout for like surface copper bits here. These are what they look like. Obviously, you can find them in different kinds of stone. This is what they look like in the actual stone. Typically, you don't see this. You'll just see these. And if you see these on the surface, then that means there's these down below. So, I mean, we could pick them up, actually, but I am going to mark this. That's another thing. Another pro tip. Always mark things you find, right? You just right-click on the map, and this pops up. You can, like, set this to pin, so it'll always show up in your minimap, even if you're really far away. But yeah, this is copper. I am going to pick this up, though, because that's actually an incredible find. And we got a lot here as well. Oh, that's almost enough for 1 tool. I kind of want to get up here, see what there is. If there's any more up here, that'll be great. There is. Oh, hell yeah. So now we got enough for 1 tool already, just with that one. Sometimes you might only find like 1 little bit. But yeah, we need to keep on going. We need to keep on going. We have stuff to do. We have stuff to do. So typically I like to stay near where I spawned, which kind of is like in this area, right? We're going to build ourselves a little tiny base here. So we got our shovel. We can get some whatchamacallits here. That's more flint. Let's go. Get some dirt blocks here. And we can just dig into here. And we're just going to make ourselves a little simple shelter. It doesn't need to be anything fancy, because we just want the shelter, right? That's what we want, is the shelter. Temporary base, or you can like just live here forever, you know? It's up to you. But if you plan on like doing some exploring and finding yourself a perfect base, that's better. It's better to leave that until later. Right now, you want to focus on survival. Survival is the most important thing. And then once you're good with survival, like you've got enough food, you got decent tools and whatnot, then that would be the point in time where I, you know, start going out and exploring a bit more. All right. And we got ourselves a spot here. Nice little spot. We can cover this up with dirt blocks as for our door kind of thing. You can make a nice little like stick door if you wanted. I like to use just dirt blocks. The reason is the stick door, it has a chance of breaking every time you open and close it, right? Whereas like dirt blocks, I mean, you'd break them, right? But in how cellars work and stuff like that, which is another thing we'll get into potentially in a later video if you guys want more videos. If we use dirt blocks like this, technically this is a cellar now, which will keep our food good longer because food spoils. All right, so now that we got a shelter, we're going to want to make ourselves a fire. Now, to do that, we're going to need firewood. So you're going to take your logs in your crafting grid and put the axe right above it, and that'll give you firewood, right? Great stuff. We got firewood. Lovely. Now, we're going to want to take a piece of grass here, dry grass, and you want to right-click, or right-shift, shift. You want to shift, and then right-click on the ground. Words are difficult, let me tell you. And then you want to do the same thing with 4 logs. That gives you your fire pit. And then you can shift and right-click to add more logs, just like that. Or you can just like normal right-click on it, and that'll bring up the GUI. Great stuff, great stuff. So with the logs, you can shift right-click on the ground here, and you can make a pile. Now the next thing we're going to want to do is to make a fire starter. So we're going to need another grass and 2 sticks, and you want to put them in your crafting grid as so. That makes you your fire starter. And then with fire, like, obviously you can choose when you want to do this. Obviously light is more important at nighttime than daytime. And then, like, if you're cooking food and stuff, if you have some cattail roots or some meat that you happened upon, then that'll be great. But for the video purpose, we're going to turn this on. We're going to light the fire because we're going to need it for lighting torches. And doing this can happen right away. You can light the fire right away. That was pretty fast, actually, or it could take a long time. You don't want to take it a long time. And another little side note, with your tools, you can hold shift and control and then right-click on the wall here, and it'll place the tools. Now we want to make a couple torches. I always make a couple because, I don't know, I just find having 2 is a little bit better than only having 1. Like, having a backup torch is great. And then, yeah, so we want to get our grass, and then it's 2 grass on top of 1 stick to make the torches. Lovely. And then to light them, you just go to any fire source. So this fire pit works great. If there's like a torch just on the wall like that, you can hold right-click on it, like shift and hold right-click on it, and that'll light it. Or if you have a pit kiln going, basically most fire sources you can light a torch at. So we're going to light the torch here. We're going to light both of them, just like that. And now some things to note with the torches. They can be used to light fires. So you can light your fire pit with them, and it works a lot faster and more consistently than a fire starter does. You can light other torches with them if you have them on the wall. Same thing, you just hold right-click and like shift and right-click on it, and then it'll light it. There's pit kilns, basically anything. You can even light a tree on fire if you want. I'm not sure why you'd want to do that, but yeah. Another thing to note is they are on a timer. So if you have them actively in your hand or on the wall like this without a torch holder, they are on a 48-hour in-game time limit. If you have them in your inventory like this, the timer is paused. Or in like a chest or anything where they're not actively like emitting light, right? I like to keep them up in my inventory like this here, so that way there's no chance of me accidentally like scrolling on them and letting the timer go, right? But yeah. And then another thing you can do with this, one of the reasons why I made an extra is so I can plop it on the wall. So just normal right click will pop it on the wall. It's great. And now we got light for 48 in-game hours. Oh, I should place my bed as well. Let's place our bed. There we go. We've placed our bed. So now we got a workable base. A nice little dirt hut here. Doesn't look pretty. You can make this as pretty as you want. But now that we got that, we've got a little bit of time to look for clay maybe, because clay's gonna be one of the big things you want. There's a couple places you can get clay. Couple clays you can look for. There's red clay and blue clay. Red clay is going to be the one you find more often, and hopefully we can come across some here right away. And then there's blue clay, which happens less often, but it will spawn around the sea level or water level here. So we're more likely to see it around here. But red clay is going to be the one that we're most likely going to find. And you can find it in pretty much any dirt area where there's dirt. I doubt we're going to find any before nightfall, which is fine. Clay's, that's one of those things where you find it right away or it takes a while to find it. And I am not seeing any, unfortunately. Wait, don't forget to eat. We got this food to eat it. Don't forget to eat. Whoa. Oh my god. We've got enemies. We've got enemies. This is not good. This is not good. Oh. No, let me go. Let me go. Let's get inside. Get inside. Yeah, this is why you want to not be out and about during the night, especially this early. Oh my god, the enemies. They scared the crap out of me. Anyway, I did not find any clay, which is not like a super negative thing right now. It is just our first day. That's probably the next thing we're going to be on the lookout, like majorly on the lookout the next day and the days to come is clay. The sooner we find clay, the sooner we can progress further in the game to Copper Age and beyond. And yeah, with that being said, that's pretty much all the tips I have for your first day. If you get yourself to the point where you have a base, like a little temporary base here, like your little dirt hut, you have yourself a bed, you have yourself a fire, you have yourself some food, some firewood, and your tools. You're set up for success, honestly. And the only way this can screw up for you is if, like, you just die and you lose all your stuff, right? Which is why I always say make your temporary base near where you spawned first off. And yeah, if you want to hear any more tips, if you have any little extra bits of advice you want to share, then let me know in the comments section, because I'm always interested to hear if I've missed anything or if there's anything I haven't considered, or if you guys just want to share just more tips for the community, you know, because we should all be helping each other, right? And yeah, a little bit of a self-plug here as well. I do stream Vintage Story every Tuesdays and Thursdays. 6 p.m. EST is the start time of the stream. Tuesdays are single-player Forever World. Thursdays are multiplayer Solus Gaming World days. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys in live stream. If you guys want to see more videos like this or more videos in general, just let me know in the comments as well. Hit that like button if you found this helpful, or if you just enjoyed. Consider subscribing, I guess, and I will see you in a live stream or another video. Thanks for watching, everybody.